problem with this particular Citron as a C5, apart from the fact that it's a Citron, is that it's blowing a lot of white smoke when it first starts up. We've done a bit of testing, we've done code checks, etc. It's come up with a fault within the glow plug system. So now we're going to just check the resistance of the glow plugs, and we can do that because this particular model has 4 individual plugs here, 4 individual wires that go to individual glow plugs. It's not on a bus system, so we can test them individually. So this is the power side. We've checked for power already, and that's okay. And now we're going to check the resistance. So I've got my earth wire off my multimeter onto the battery earth, which is a good earth, and now we'll test each individual wire. So I assume it's going to go back from 4, 3, 2, 1, just at this point. So I'll test number 4. Let's have a look at number 4. Number 4 shows 0.9 of an ohm, which is good. We'll go on to what I assume is number 3. We're going to 0.8 of an ohm, which is still within specs. We'll go to the next one, and hello, what have we got here? 2.344 mega ohm. So that's clearly out of range. We'll go to number 1, and we'll back down to 0.9, which is within range. So we'll just go back to that second one just to double check it. 2.34 whatever mega ohm. Clearly there's an issue. So now what we'll have to do is pull it off so that we can access the glow plugs, and then we can decide if it's a wiring fault gaining resistance from somewhere, or if it's the glow plug itself. Okay, so it's decided to rain on us, which is not so much fun when you're working on a car outside, but we've managed to get the glow plugs out, and we've found an interesting discovery here, so I'll just show you. Of course, to check a glow plug we need to check for resistance through it, and that can be done of course with an ohm meter. So we'll just set that there. So for one of the glow plugs, interesting, we've got a spare glow plug here, but you can tell the difference straight away. Immediately you can see that this one here up the actual exposed element area that goes into the cylinder is nice and clean, but this one over here has quite a bit of carbon build-up, as you can see. So what we'll now do is test the resistance of them individually and just see how that compares. We'll just put them there so that you can see the meter as well. So this one over here, this is our sample one that we know is okay. There's our meter there, and we're reading approximately 0.9 of an ohm, which is, if I connect it properly, 0.9 of an ohm is what characteristically is accepted, so that's still within range. But now we'll go to this other one that we've just pulled out of the engine, keeping in mind that the problem that we're having with the engine is white smoke, and that's typically a glow plug problem. So this one we pulled out of number 3, I believe. So now we're just going to connect that, and we're getting all sorts of strange readings. In fact, before we had an open circuit reading, no continuity whatsoever. So as you can see, the readings are all over the place. I'll just make sure we've got a good connection. It's quite possible that the element's actually broken inside. There we go, we have a high reading, quite within the mega range, which is consistent with what we saw before, but you can see that there's something not quite right with that glow plug. Okay, so now I've changed the glow plug in number 3, I believe it was, and now I'll check it back at the connector, the wiring harness, just to double check and confirm. So you always confirm the work that you've done to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So we'll keep an eye on our meter here while I check 1, 2, 3, 4 of the wires as they go through down to the glow plugs. So we'll start at number 1. Well, obviously this is reversed because it was number 3 that played up. So I'll start over this side. We have get on there, 0.9, so that's good. So we're now counting, this will be number 2, 0.8. This was the dodgy one that we had before. We've got 0.8, which is excellent. And now we have number 4, which is 0.8. So we can clearly see that the glow plug itself was at fault, none of the wiring or anything like that. So hopefully we can get it all back together, and that should get rid of our white smoke.